Apple's Nexus 7. The Nook? You bet. You can also read a full replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-Edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
Roadrunner Rundown on Bakersfield.com and the CSUB Roadrunners Digital Network. Roadrunner Rundown on Bakersfield.com and the CSUB Roadrunners Digital Network. Live from the Dignity Health Studios in downtown Bakersfield, California.
And welcome in, once again, Roadrunner Rundown, the official program, CSUB Roadrunner Athletics. I'm Corey Costello. Thanks so much for joining us on a special Monday edition of the program, and on an extra special edition, not just because I'm wearing a hat in studio, but because I'm wearing the WAC hat in studio, because this is a special WAC basketball edition of Roadrunner Rundown, because Western Athletic Conference basketball opens up this weekend, Saturday at Rabobank Arena. Bakersfield hosts Utah Valley. So, hence the hat, and hence the fact that we're going to be talking all CSUB basketball this entire program. Here's what we got coming up on the show today. Our guests in the next couple segments will be joined by a couple young men on our men's basketball team, but also guys that have experience playing in conference basketball because they transferred to Bakersfield from other institutions. Brandon Barnes will join us. He played at Lipscomb University his freshman season. Of course, they're a member of the Atlantic Sun Conference. Also, we're going to be speaking with Stefon Johnson for the first time on the program. Stefon played 3 years at Gardner-Webb there in the Big South, I believe, and he was there for 3 seasons before transferring to Bakersfield last year, sitting out and then playing this season. So these guys got some of that conference basketball experience. We're going to talk with them about what that's like. We're also going to obviously preview the upcoming game and the Runners coming off a win on Saturday night. We'll talk about that game as well. Stefon Johnson actually had a big basket in that game. Brandon Barnes had 13. So both those guys will be coming up on the program. We'll have them here on the show today. And then in the final segment of the show, we're going to be speaking with Clint Burgi. He is the Assistant Athletic Director for Sports Information at Utah Valley. And it is our brand new Behind Enemy Lines segment. We're going to be talking each week with an upcoming opponent when we have a home game, an upcoming opponent, one of their radio guys, maybe sports information people, somebody who, somebody who's got some in the know about our upcoming opponent. So we'll bring them on the show, and Clint will be our first guest coming up in the final segment of the program. So looking forward to that as well. Of course, we got a lot of highlights to get to in just a moment, and a special as we kind of wind down the year, another worst of Corey versus version from episodes 6 through 10, I believe. And these were a couple of these really showcase the fact that I have no basketball skills whatsoever. So those are coming up a little bit as well. But first, let's get to the highlights, shall we? Had a lot of stuff going on this past weekend, and we go to basketball. Men's basketball, Runners wrapping up non-conference play at Idaho State. And just like last time, Javante Maynor leading the charge with the 3 and a team-high 17 points. That gave the Runners a lead with just over 4 minutes to play. But following a timeout, Idaho State goes on a 4-0 run over the next couple of minutes, capped by this layup from Chris Hansen at the baseline, putting the Bengals up on top with just over a minute to play. Bakersfield, however, has been in this situation before, and this time they weren't to be denied. Entry pass, and Stefon Johnson, a short jumper with the 51 seconds left, gives the Runners the lead. They're up by 1. Then the next possession for Idaho State, here comes the Roadrunners defense as they're going to get the ball out on the wing. And then Isaiah Grayson, watch where he is, top of the key right now, right in the right spot. He gets the steal. Eric Kinney gets fouled from behind. He is grabbed. Therefore, it's called an intentional foul. He makes 1 or 2 free throws. Then the inbound, they're trying to foul Javante Maynor. They can't. He gets to the rack. He lays it in for 2 with just under 20 seconds to play. The Bengals couldn't foul him, and then they're going to put up one more final 3-point attempt. Not going to go. And Bakersfield going to win their 7th game of the season. They end their non-conference schedule at 7-7. Javante Maynor, for the second time this season, leads Bakersfield over Idaho State. This time 17 points for the Roadrunners, including an impressive 5 of 7 from beyond the arc. Runners make a play late. They had a couple games this year slip away like that. Not this time. Bakersfield getting the victory on the road. Here's the upcoming game for the Roadrunners. It'll be the WAC opener at Rabobank Arena Saturday night, 7 o'clock, Utah Valley against CSUB. And that game, again, tips at 7 o'clock, and tickets available on Ticketmaster, also at GoRunners.com. And we'll have a special performance by Steve Max of the Simon Says Show, rally towels for the first 500 fans. We've got a lot of cool stuff happening, so that's going to be Saturday night, Rabobank Arena. They're also going to host Grand Canyon Thursday night, January the 9th at Rabobank as well in their second game. But speaking about Bakersfield's upcoming next opponent, Utah Valley, let's check out some of their highlights. They were hosting North Dakota State. This was from December 23rd. And get used to this name right here because you're going to hear his name a lot. Holton Hunsacker for Utah Valley, the team's leading scorer, and he's a guy who can definitely put up some points. And, well, here he is right here. Hits a three-pointer. Then Hunsacker coming back at you once again from the corner. He gets another one, and then one more. He can show a little bit of skill inside the arc. He's got the pull-up jumper. He hit 14 of Utah Valley's first 16 points. Then Kauai Enos with the three-pointer, also to give Utah Valley a 10-point first-half lead. As you'll see, Enos right here get open on the wing, and he will hit from the corner. They lead by 10, but North Dakota State not going away. Here's Marshall Bjorklund going to get into the action for the Bison, hitting the jumper there. Then coming back next possession for North Dakota State. Move in the low block. Nice spin move in the layup. Then Lawrence Alexander going to work as well for North Dakota State. The three-pointer coming up on the left elbow. And all of a sudden, a 13-2 run for North Dakota State. It's going to be capped off in a big way. The steal, the turnover, and the finish from Taylor Braun. Bison take the lead for good on that dunk. Final minute of the first half, Chris Kading is well going to add insult to injury. He's going to get the jumper, gives the Bison a 9-point halftime lead, then a 19-point swing over the last 10 minutes of the first half. Second half action, hot shooting that helped Utah Valley in the first half cools considerably. The Wolverines missed their final 9 shots of the game and managed just 33% from the field and 38% from three-point range. But it was still close. UVU down a pair with just 27 seconds to go. The tip in by Chris Kading cleaning it up was enough for North Dakota State to hold off Utah Valley 74-71. Holton Hunsacker a game high 22 points for the Wolverines. Kauai Enos with 14 for Utah Valley as well. Then Saturday night, Utah Valley, they wrapped up their non-conference schedule against Tennessee Tech. They got a win. They avenged an early season loss to the Golden Eagles. 75-76. Utah Valley wins that one. They're 5-7 coming into Bakersfield this weekend for Western Athletic Conference play. Again, Hunsacker 22 points for Utah Valley in that game as well. So a very busy weekend of Western Athletic Conference basketball coming up. But, of course, all the teams wrapping up their non-conference schedules this past weekend. Some other scores from around the WAC. It was New Mexico State finishing their non-conference schedule with an 82-64 victory over South Alabama. Aggies are 11-5 on the season, best record in the conference. They've also won 4 straight. Montana edged Idaho 72-71. Idaho missing 10 second-half free throws, which cost them in the game. And Kansas City fell to 3-9 on the year with a 65-60 loss at home to South Dakota State. Here's the WAC schedule this week. Here's what's going to be happening around the conference. Texas Pan Am will open at Grand Canyon, and Kansas City is at Idaho. Those are Thursday basketball games. Then Saturday, Utah Valley is at Bakersfield. New Mexico State is at Grand Canyon. Chicago State is at Idaho, and Kansas City is at Seattle. So there's your action around the Western Athletic Conference. Let's get to some soccer news here real quick as the Roadrunners learning this week that Simon Tobin, the head coach, will be leaving his post after 27 seasons at the helm of the Roadrunners to take the head coaching position at San Jose State. Tobin won 307 games as a Roadrunner, and he becomes just the 4th coach all-time at San Jose State, who plays Bakersfield in the Western Athletic Conference as an affiliate member. And athletic director Jeff Konya out of town, obviously, for the holidays, but he did issue this statement about Coach Tobin. We wish Coach Simon Tobin all the best in his future endeavors. In final analysis, we as an athletics department were not prepared to financially match the lucrative offer he received for his coaching services. He has built a consistent winning program at CSUB over his 27-plus years of work and has left the program in remarkable shape with an exciting, young, and talented roster. This will be a coveted coaching opportunity in the national marketplace, and it is our preferred intention to hire an experienced and successful coach to build upon the solid foundation left by Coach Tobin. The search process for the next CSUB head men's soccer coach will begin in early January 2020. 2014. So there you go. Wish all the best to our friend Simon Tobin. And like I said, unfortunately, he's going inside the conference. So we're going to have to face him every year. And I sent him a message, a text the other day and said, look forward to beating you. So we went back and forth. But good luck to him, and should have a really good coaching pool of candidates coming up for the opening here at CSUB. Well, now it's that time of the show again as we move into Corey Versus. And as we kind of wrap up the year and enter 2014, we look back on the first 20 episodes of the show and see some of my worst performances in Corey Versus. And here's our latest worst of from episodes 6 through 10. Enjoy. But we're going to play a baseball-style game, which is wiffle ball, and I'm going to attempt to take James deep here. Let's see what he's got. A little tardy on that swing, ball was flat, and I just flat-out missed it. Checking the slow-mo, great location from Berrigan, inside corner. Next pitch, down and away, and a little harder, and he almost screws me into the ground. Now he's got me chasing for strike 3, bat cuts, look how far outside that pitch was. Now he goes inside again, and I can't catch up. Look at the movement on that pitch. Unbelievable. Extra slow motion replay. Dirty. Time for one last crack. Let's see if he puts it in my wheelhouse. A pity pitch that I drive for a base hit, but James Berrigan, although giving me a freebie, wins the Corey Versus Challenge contest. Brooke is a very good outside shooter, and we're going to pick a spot. So what's like your favorite spot on the floor?
The wing. I run the wing. That's my position. I can knock it down. I hope you're ready.
All right, by going first, I think the pressure might work in my favor. Problem is, I have to make it.
A little more leg.
Better form, but still no. Short. Nope again. Trying to save base. No chance. Brooks' turn to put the announcer out of his misery. Missed the first little distraction. Missed the second. I might have a chance here, but shooters keep shooting. One to win. 2 for good measure. 3 to rub it in. Brooke Hinkins wins the Corey Versus Challenge. Ladies, what we're going to do, a little bit different, because I think I can usually compete, but I'm not a very good golfer, and you guys are much better than me. So the plan is, I'm going to take a shot, all right, maybe a couple. You get a chance to analyze my awful swing. You're going to show the folks how it's actually done, and then maybe give me a few pointers.
All right, sounds good.
I played golf for a long time. I'm not that good, and here's why. I slice a lot, so the girls are going to help.
Just right. I'm always right.
Right down the middle. And now Chandler Bowman, who's a freshman. Down the middle as well. How embarrassing is this? I have golf clubs older than she is, and she makes it look so easy.
Your hands are definitely out in front, and you want it squared so that the ball can go straight. Because if it's out in front, the ball's just going to take a right turn.
Which it did, naturally. So I need to slow my hands down?
Well, you have to work on getting your right shoulder inward, and bring it in between, like down, so your hands will be behind when you hit the ball, so it goes straight instead of a little right.
A little right. That's okay. So that's my biggest thing is the hands. That was the big thing to sit at. Okay.
Hands a little bit more behind.
A little more behind. Oh, yeah. Right. Oh, okay. All right, let's give it a shot.
Again, not perfect, but a big step forward for this guy. Thanks, ladies. You have showed me why I should take up bowling. All right, Helen was an actual pitcher at a pretty good softball school, so I've got my work cut out for me. Oh! Yeah, first pitch, blew to the right. Helen is stunned. I'm playing with house money now, but she evens the score and gets me to chase.
Chasing low.
Oh, right back at
Right
you.
back where it came from.
Boom,
Almost got
that's
her.
a single.
Time to talk some trash. And the replay to see how close it actually came to hitting her. Yikes, my bad. Next pitch, solid contact, another single up the other side. Derek Jeter, eat your heart out.
Two singles at least.
I foul one off as she changes location. Changeup.
Trying to pull me on the changeup. I saw it.
One more pitch.
That's one.
That might have snuck through, but a
triple.
victory for now. She wants a rematch in the spring. Like Bo, Corey knows softball. Pressure for this one. We're shooting in front of over 500 people. Javante's used to it. Me, not so much. I'm having flashbacks of my showdown with the women's team. I can't make a thing for desperate measures. The bucket shot? Nope. How about a hook shot? Nope again. I have one rattle out. That's disappointing. Crowd's starting to turn on me as I fizzle out. A big fat 0. Javante is going to take over now. This, folks, is how it's done. He hits his first 3. They had a couple of misses, but this thing is over. Little victory dance and a few more shots from Javante just to bring it home. Javante Maynor wins the Corey versus challenge, going away. There you go, the worst of Corey versus the last, episodes 6 through 10. There's plenty of bad moments still to come, and we'll have some more coming up in the coming weeks. And, of course, a few new Corey versus sprinkled in as well, so just stick around for that. We got to step away and take a break. We've got more WAC basketball to talk about. When we come back, we're going to be speaking with Stefon Johnson and Brandon Barnes of the men's basketball team. We will talk with those guys about the end of the non-conference schedule and the beginning of the conference season when we get back. Stick around. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield, California. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores. Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, real estate, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly Business Journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
Brave and bold, silver and gold.
We're on a mission.
Aggie up.
Bronx Country just got a whole lot bigger.
Mighty Wolverines of UVU.
Join the herd. Lopes up.
Bold moves, big season, grew up.
We are the new gold standard.
We will be champions.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californians Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
Madness is calling. The 2014 WAC Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. March 12th through the 15th at Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. 16 teams battle through the brackets on their way to the big dance. Be there to see who will go home the big winner. All session tickets available at orleansarena.com.
Welcome back into Roadrunner Rundown, official program CSUB Roadrunner Athletics, as we are talking WAC basketball, all WAC all the time today, hence the headgear, and of course, we've got a couple of young men on the men's basketball squad, which will open up conference play on Saturday night against Utah Valley at Rabobank Arena. Immediately to my left is redshirt senior Stefon Johnson and redshirt junior, as it stands right now, Brandon Barnes. He's been on the show for the second time. Guys, welcome to the program. How you doing? Good. First of all, can you guys give me, maybe Brandon, give me your assessment maybe of the first half of the season? Maybe obviously a few games could have gone either way, but give me your thoughts on your non-conference finish at 7-7.
We started off really hot, 5-1, and we had a low point in our season where we, lost 5 in a row as well. So I think we've had some ups and some downs, and we've grown for sure as a basketball team. So going into conference play 7-7, it gives us a clean slate. Like this is a new season again. So I think we've had a great non-conference. It's not been the best. It could have been better, but it has been good for our basketball team.
Steph, same question to you. What were some of the what are your thoughts on how you guys finished the non-conference portion of your schedule?
My thoughts on how we finished was kind of like up and down. Like the beginning of the season, like Brandon said, it was like we were going, like we were running, like everything was flowing, and we just hit a hard spot, and coach just told us to keep with it, and we did, and we ended up coming out even 7-7. So like you said, it's a new season now. So we're going to the conference play, and I think it's our time. So
there you go. Let's talk roles on this team, because it's kind of an interesting mix. I mean, it seems like both of you have taken on kind of unique roles this season. Brandon, last year you were the returning leading scorer, and really this team it's funny, this team has won when you haven't scored a lot of points. And there's been an adjustment. Has there been kind of an adjustment with this group finding your roles, considering there's so much talent and so much depth?
Not really. I consider myself pretty much the X factor. I can do whatever the team needs me to do in that particular night. And, like you said, the games that we won, I haven't scored many points at all, but, I've contributed on the defensive end or whether I need to be assisted. Just, my dad builds it into us that, it's going to be somebody's night every night. So, once we get everybody clicking where I'm scoring and we're winning, then, I think we'll be on a roll. But as long as we win, I really don't care about, how many points I score. My role is just to be the glue guy, keep everything together. So
there you go. And Stefon, it's hard to kind of explain what you do, because you'll play a really good game and you look at the stat sheet and a good example the other night, Idaho State, you have 6 points, but you have 10 rebounds and you made a big shot at the end. But then a lot of times there's tips, there's stuff that you do that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. So how do you kind of explain your role on this team?
Well, like Coach told me at the beginning of the season, he told me I'm like the guy that can do everything.
Mm-hmm.
He said I can rebound, I can shoot, I can play defense, and just when I go out there on the court, I'm just focused on winning the game, and I'm trying to do everything to help my team win the game. So at the end of the day, I just feel like without me, then I feel like I'm a big integral part of the team. So they definitely need me, and I definitely need them. So.
And what about the other night? You get a chance late in the game. You hit the game-winning basket. Essentially that was the game-winning shot, and not an easy one at that. But obviously moments like that and games like that got to make you feel good when you get those opportunities.
Oh, definitely. It when he drew the play up, first thing that went through my head was the USC game, and I'm like, man, I got to redeem myself. So I was praying it in and went in. So It's a good feeling.
There you go. Now, you both are upperclassmen. There's some Youngtown on this team as well, some underclassmen and some sophomores and stuff. And who maybe have you enjoyed watching kind of develop the first 14 games of the year?
Eric Kinney for sure. He's made strides. We played Texas Arlington. He has a career high at 20 points, and he's shooting well from the field. And he's helping us, and he's going to help us a lot in conference, and we need him for sure. So his growth has been, a big part. From not playing that much last year to being a really key part in our success of what we're trying to do this year. So, I'm happy for him, and I'm sure my dad's happy too. So
there you go. Same for you, Stefon.
Yeah, I think everybody agrees with Eric. He's come a long way. He's doing everything that coach wanted him to do, and it's paying off for him. So
absolutely. Now, real quick before we hit, we'll keep you guys for the next segment too. But favorite non-conference moment in the first 14 games. Your favorite moment from the first 14 games, Brandon? You have one?
Probably when we won that game against Northern Arizona to start off 5-1. That was probably, we played so bad, and then we ended up pulling that one out, and then we made a little bit of history too. I guess it was our best start in Division I.
Sure.
So that was a good key moment for us, and that's where our season turned too. We ended up losing right there, and that changed our basketball team. So I think that was probably the best part of our season right so far.
Stefon?
Mine's got to be the Idaho State game.
Okay, Idaho State. There you go. There you go. Hitting the little jumper in the lane right there in traffic. There you go. That was so. And the 7-7, the Runners to start the non-conference season, and conference basketball is coming up on Saturday at Rabobank Arena. We're going to have the guys stick around. We will talk conference basketball since they're both experienced in that aspect, having been in other programs before CSUB. So we'll talk with them about how the season sort of changes when you get to the conference schedule. That's coming up next. Stick around. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield, California. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californians Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
The Bakersfield Californian is a great read on the iPad, but did you know that the Bakersfield Californian is available on your Kindle Fire? Or how about Google's Nexus 7? The Nook? You bet. You can also read a full replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-Edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, real estate, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly business journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
Madness is calling. The 2014 WAC Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. March 12th through the 15th at Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. 16 teams battle through the brackets on their way to the Big Dance. 50.orleansarena.com.
And welcome back into Roadrunner Rundown, official program CSUB Roadrunner Athletics. We are talking WAC basketball because the conference schedule opens on Saturday. Bakersfield hosting Utah Valley at Rabobank Arena. Tickets available at GoRunners.com via Ticketmaster. Also the Rabobank Arena box office and all sorts of great stuff planned for the evening. We've got Steve Max of the Simon Says Show at the halftime. We've got special WAC presentation at the start of the game, and also rally towels for the first 500 fans in attendance. And so we got a good opportunity for you to be a part of history on Saturday night. And speaking of which, in the next segment, we're going to be joined by Clint Burgi on the phone. He is the assistant AD for sports information at Utah Valley. It's our behind enemy line segment. We'll tell you a little bit about the Wolverines coming to town on Saturday. But we continue now with Stefon Johnson and Brandon Barnes, and both these guys integral part of the Roadrunners' success. Brandon averaging about 9 points a game. Stefon, 6 points, and one of the top rebounders on the team at nearly 5 rebounds per game. Guys, we were talking a lot in the last segment about the non-conference schedule. A couple more questions real quick on that. You closed out Saturday at Idaho State. You got the win, 61-57. Give me your thoughts on that game, and how important was it to get that win and be 500 going into conference play?
To be quite honest, I mean, going into the game, they gave us a tough game at home. So yeah. I was kind of more focused this time than I was the last time. So I mean, I knew we needed the game, and they had that funky zone. I mean, that zone was crazy. They packed it in a lot,
right?
Like the other night, and you know they didn't really allow us to drive, and we made some shots and made some big plays down the stretch. And I mean, it was a huge win for us for sure to end the non-conference, and then to get a road win on top of that. So. I think it was a great momentum going into conference play.
Now, Stefon, we talked about it earlier. You hit the game-winning shot down in the paint, but it was tough to get the ball down to you all night, wasn't it?
Man, they closed it in, like they packed it in real tight. Like coming from the first game, like it was real spread out, and I think like the coaching staff did a good job of like viewing what we did last game, and they packed it in because they knew we had a lot of drivers, and they made us shoot, and we hit shots, but at the same time they made it way harder than it was the first time.
Absolutely. Now, that was your 5th game in a row on the road. We played every game in the month of December except one on the road. And despite the negatives associated with travel and stuff, how do you think it's going to help? Because it seemed like it helped the team on Saturday because you'd been in that situation down late on the road and had some success. So how do you think it's going to help the team in the future, the fact that you traveled so much and there's a lot of travel still to come in the WAC?
Well, during conference play, it's going to get a lot tougher. You know, the teams are going to scout you. They got all the tape out that they need about you, and it's going to get a lot harder. So those games, you know, gives us a lot of confidence going down the stretch where we know we could pull one out that's going to be tough, you know, and we know that in conference it's going to get tough just like that. Mm-hmm. And the games are going to be just as competitive. So, I mean, like I said, we're going to have confidence going into there and knowing that we can pull out the win on the road.
Are there any tricks, Stefon, on the road to staying, like, fresh? I mean, is there, when you go from the airplane to the bus to the hotel to practice to wake up and, like, repeat over and over again, is there any tricks to, like, staying fresh and rested and staying ready to go when you're on the road?
The only thing is resting, like you just said. You got to sleep, get a lot of sleep. Scouting reports is a big thing for us. We got to read our scouting reports and sleeping. That's the best thing.
Scouting reports. And you guys manage to sleep in just the weirdest places that I have no idea how you pull it off. I mean, we'll be going to the airport, and like Steph's one of the like gross offenders. I mean, he'll find like a little corner of floor, feet propped up on somebody. I mean, and he's asleep. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how you guys do it.
It's comfortable, man. Comfortable to be. I sleep anywhere.
I have no idea. Brandon, do you have a trick to staying fresh on the road?
No, I just kind of talk to myself, to be honest. I mean, I'm usually just tired, just as tired as anybody. I mean, because I don't sleep on the plane. I get kind of nervous when we get up in the air, so I don't really sleep then, and I don't sleep on the bus. Most of those days I'm really tired. I just kind of try to talk to myself, be like, man, we got an hour or two, let's just go hard, and then I can go to sleep when I get to the hotel. So, like I said, rest, you know, but...
Well, Steph, you and I, though, knowing Brandon, know he doesn't talk to himself. He talks to everybody around him, right?
At least 20 minutes. Everybody. At least 20 minutes.
And the person that has to sit next to him on the airplane,
man.
If it's a stranger, it's over, right? Yeah. It's like 2 hours of conversation. Exactly how it goes.
Some interesting people.
Exactly. No, exactly. So you can just say you talk. You don't have to say talk to yourself. Just say I talk. I talk to everybody around.
I guess I talk to keep myself up. That's my trick.
There you go. There you go. Let's talk conference play. Both of you came to CSUB from other schools. Brandon, you were at Lipscomb for 2 seasons, played for 1. Stefon, you were at Gardner-Webb for 3 years. Brandon, first of all, what kind of changes the team in January when these games now mean something?
I mean, it's more competitive. When you're playing in a non-conference, you do a lot of those games, to see where you're at. And, we play Washington State and USC, and a lot of other teams play some big schools. And I think those Pac-12 schools get us prepared for conference to give us confidence going in. I mean, we played Washington State close, had a chance to win the game at the end. We played USC close, had a chance to win the game at the end. And then, going to the conference play, we have that confidence, where we feel like we can go pull these games out, against these opponents that we're playing in the WAC. So conference gets more competitive. I mean, everybody's going for that WAC championship, the regular season first, and then they're trying to get the conference tournament to get the the trip to the big dance. And so, I mean, everybody's focus is locked in pretty much.
Stefon, what changed for you as a player when you're at Gardner-Webb getting ready for those big South games every year when the calendar kind of turned?
One of the things that really changed was like the scouting report and the way we prepare for the games. Like with my old school, I think it was more focused on the personnel. Now here it's more focused on us. Mm-hmm. So you make sure that we're right before we go into the games instead of focusing more on them. So we're scoring and stopping them. So it's more like the focus is more on us. So.
Absolutely. And, Brandon, last year, your first year here, that calendar turned in January, but nothing changed. The games were still just the games because you were independent. How different was that for you as a player to go into a situation where the games, they meant something because you wanted to win, but there really was no end game, no end prize, I guess you could say.
Oh, well, I mean, we focused on trying to get a winning season. And then, being able to play the game of basketball, I was just excited to play. So I know most of my best basketball kind of, started at the end of the year or began at toward the end of the year or half of the year, however you want to put it. But that's when I was just trying to get better as a player, and I knew if I got better, the team would get better. So my mindset then was more of, man, I just need to get better so we can try to win these games. And I was like, I know we're not playing for anything, but we had the opportunity to try to get to postseason, and that was last year. So I mean, we went to the CIT the year before when I redshirted. So I think we were trying to get that last year too. So. That was my focus.
Will you find yourselves as we get into conference play paying more attention to what's going on with the games from other conference teams, knowing that you're going to face those teams twice, maybe 3 times when the conference tournament rolls around?
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. It's because it's like with those games, they're different from the out-of-conference games because the out-of-conference games are more like battle testing games to get you prepared for the conference games. And when you play against those conference teams, it's like you got to be focused, like ultra, like over. Like you got to just make sure that everything's just on point and just be ready to play every game.
I want to talk conference comparison because a lot of people, especially with the new shape of the Western Athletic Conference, they, especially on the West Coast, they might like to slam the WAC because it's got a lot of new faces. But honestly, I'm assuming to other conferences, even where you guys played, I mean, I look at some of the schools and I'm thinking, who? I mean, and a lot of people will do that across the country. So, in the conference buildup seems to be the same. 1 or 2 or 3 teams at the top and then several other teams that are in the mix, just like the WAC. Was it kind of like that when you were at Lipscomb, Brandon?
Absolutely. The Atlantic Sun was just like the WAC. I would say it's a basketball conference. We didn't really have a lot of football teams. We had one football team, Campbell, and they ended up going to the Big South, actually. We had it was a lot of parity in our league. Mm-hmm. You could get beat by anybody. You get beat from the bottom team to all the way. You could knock off the top team, and the best team in our conference at the time was Belmont, and they were our arch rival. So we had a little bit more. It was a conference game on top of that, plus a rivalry game. So we had a little bit more edge going into that game. And Florida Gulf Coast is in our conference. We made their run last year, and we killed them. So I mean. We were prepared. Like, when I played there, we would beat all the top teams, and then we would lose to the bottom teams because we would lack a focus. So that's what you have to prepare for in the conference game. You got to try to win every game. You got to knock off the top teams, and you can't lose to the bottom teams.
Was it like that in the Big South? I mean, like the WAC is now, you had 3-4 teams up top, and then you had the bottom, but they were still very competitive.
Yeah, definitely. Like he said, you would beat the top-ranked teams, and then you'll end up playing the bottom teams, and they'll beat you. And you would think back like, what did we do wrong? And you'll be like, we were focused more on the bigger teams,
sure,
and not focusing on the smaller teams. So,
you've both been part of conference home openers too. I mean, this is a first for Bakersfield coming up on Saturday. It's the first time that they've had a conference game, Division I era home opener. What are those games like? I know home openers are big. What are, even though it's just the beginning of the conference schedule, what's like a conference home opener like?
I mean, it's going to be a lot of. It's going to be a lot of excitement. We're fortunate and we're blessed to be in the WAC. And, we're thankful for it. I mean, this is kind of one of the things that we've had our eyes on when we first got here and getting into a conference. And then now we have an opportunity to be competitive in the conference as well. So, Bakersfield got a team in their conference. That's what they wanted. Now we're trying to bring a championship to them. So the opener is going to be a lot of emotion, I think. If we can get those emotions under control with the excitement where we take it, to a extra focus level into the game, then we're gonna come out on top. So we can't let those emotions get to us where it's like, oh, we're the first home opener, get jitters. It's almost like you're playing the first game again.
Yeah.
So that's how I would take it.
Yeah, it's more like we got to prove ourselves because this is our first time being in the WAC and everything, and it's our first home opener. And people are seeing us, but it's like we're going against a conference team now,
right.
So they're going to understand how really good we are. So.
There you go. And obviously, what can you guys expect out of Utah Valley? Brandon, you played them last season, played pretty well against them a couple times. What can you expect out of that team on Saturday?
Actually, to be honest, one of my buddies is Holton Hunsaker.
Okay.
The point guard there, and we have the coach's son kind of
right.
tie that ties us together, and he's a pretty good dude too. He's expecting a lot from their team, and he talks about revenge a lot because he felt that they quit on us when we played them. So I expect them to come out with extreme focus, and they're a better basketball team.
Right.
They had better players last year, and I think they're a better team this year. So I think they're looking to kind of get some revenge, kind of like how we were at the beginning of the season when we were playing Nevada and Santa Clara. We were trying to look for some revenge. So I think they're going to have the same attitude.
Now, when you play a team for the first time, know you're going to play them again the second time. How much stuff are you just maybe filing in the back of your mind, knowing you're going to see them twice and maybe even a third time in just a couple months?
I think the biggest thing with our team is when we go out there, just give it our all, and we got to put fear in their hearts.
Mm-hmm.
So when they play us the second time, they know who we're about and they're ready to. They got to bring the A game every time because they're going to bring ours. So.
There you go. Put fear in their hearts. That's what we're looking to do. I like it. I like it. Guys, thanks so much for joining us, and congrats on the end of the non-conference schedule, and we will see you on Saturday at Rabobank Arena.
Thank you.
All right, Brandon Barnes, Stefon Johnson here on Roadrunner Rundown. Hey, we're going to step away and take a break. When we come back, we will be debuting our Behind Enemy Lines segment as we will chat with Clint Burgi. He's the assistant AD for Sports Information at Utah Valley. He'll tell you more about the Wolverines as we preview Saturday's matchup at Rabobank Arena. That's coming up next. We'll be right back. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
The Bakersfield Californian is a great read on the iPad, but did you know that the Bakersfield Californian is available on your Kindle Fire? Or how about Google's Nexus 7? The Nook? You bet. You can also read a full replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-Edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
Kern Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, real estate, and more. Visit KernBusinessJournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly Business Journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on KernBusinessJournal.com.
Bakersfield Life Magazine is a monthly lifestyle publication that features local people, places, and businesses. It is available to be read on BakersfieldLife.com and publishes the last Saturday of the month with many convenient pickup locations. Find us online on Facebook or Twitter, as well as BakersfieldLife.com.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californians Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
Madness is calling. The 2014 WAC Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament. March 12th through the 15th at Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. 16 teams battle through the brackets on their way to the big dance. Be there to see who will go home the big winner. All session tickets available at orleansarena.com.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown, final segment of the program on this special Monday edition. We return to Tuesdays next week. We'll be back to our normal schedule. So thanks for bearing with us during the holidays, but thanks for watching the program as well. And we'll be back, as we said, next Tuesday on the program, and we'll have plenty of reaction to the Western Athletic Conference opener, which will be Saturday night at Rabobank Arena against Utah Valley. And this is our debut segment of our Behind Enemy Lines segment. We're going to have to get some kind of fancy A-team music or something going on with this in the future, but nonetheless, we want to open this segment by introducing you to the teams we're going to be playing at home in the Western Athletic Conference, and that team Saturday is the Utah Valley Wolverines. And joining us now on the program, he is the Assistant Athletic Director for Sports Information and all-around good fellow. Clint Burgi joins us on the show. Clint, how you doing, man?
Good, Corey. Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, let's talk about your team. They're 6-7 right now out of the non-conference schedule, and your most recent win over Tennessee Tech, a team you guys had lost to before. So, what was different this time at home?
Well, in Cookeville, Tennessee, in November, the team just hadn't hit its stride yet. Holton Hunsaker, statistically in November, has struggled for some reason in his entire career, and he's a senior now, and he's really picked up his game lately. There was, Hunsaker's game. He scored 22 points. And then really, in Cookeville, Tennessee Tech shot the lights out from three, and Utah Valley kind of limited things that way and took an early lead and kind of rode that lead to the win.
You guys also recently played North Dakota State as well. We showed those highlights earlier on the show, but was that loss more credited to more the fact that you guys missed so many shots in the final minutes when you kind of needed a play?
Yeah, and that's something Coach Hunsaker's talked about. He's talked about the need for someone to make that key play down the stretch. And North Dakota State's a very good team. I mean, they were picked to win the Summit League and really out athleticized Utah Valley. Had more size, had more athleticism. They have the Taylor Braun kid who's very good, and they have some good post players. One of their players got a flagrant two. One of their post players, and he was ejected from the game, and they just went to the next guy on the bench, and he had a nice game too. So North Dakota State was just really tough, and it came down really to the last couple possessions, and Utah Valley didn't box out on a key one, and they got a tip in, and that kind of gave them the win.
Let's talk about your non-conference schedule. A mixture. I mean, you had some very tough games on the schedule, similar to Bakersfield, and you also had some games that you were able to win easily as well. I mean, what do you think about your non-conference schedule and how that prepares Utah Valley for the WAC?
Well, we had a week stretch where we played Oklahoma State in Stillwater the day after we played North Carolina A&T at home, which was that was an interesting one. Getting up at 4 a.m, taking a 5:30 flight to Oklahoma City, and then busing to Stillwater, and playing that night against one of the most talented teams in the country, one of the best teams I've ever seen in person, with Marcus Smart on that team. And then a week later, we go to Eugene and play Oregon. It was a much more competitive game. Oregon, based on my eye test, I would say Oklahoma State's a few notches ahead of Oregon. But going to those two programs, two of the highest rated programs Utah Valley's ever played. I mean, eighth ranked Oklahoma State is the highest ranked.
Yeah.
the team that Utah Valley has ever played, and going to those two schools where the donor, the big money man is Boone Pickens and then Nike. It was quite an experience to see those facilities, but then some other winnable ones. The Wolverines, Pepperdine, Tennessee Tech, and South Dakota all on the road, which were very winnable games. Had leads late in the game and then came up short. So it was a little rough stretch there on the road, but some losses, I think, that helped prepare Utah Valley. It's a team with a big turnover roster-wise, despite having the two seniors back in Hunsaker and Aird, who kind of anchor this program and have for 4 years.
Looking at your schedule on the non-conference side, probably would you say that one of your best wins would be that in-state game against Weber State, who's selected as one of the better teams in the Big Sky this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Weber State was picked to win the Big Sky last year. We went up there in Ogden. It's about an hour north of Orem. And Coach Hunsaker he used the term, he said they beat us by Larry Bird. They beat us by 33. So that's a good team. It's a team that, had obviously Damian Lillard's a guy who came out of that program, and we played them in the CIT 2 years ago, his final season, and lost by 3 up there. But last year really just got destroyed. And so this year it was definitely marked as probably the game on our schedule in non-conference play, and the guys delivered. Ben Aird had a great game. Didn't show statistically, but he basically negated their big guy who scored 20 points against us last year, and then Holton had a nice game. And so, it was one of those battles that you come out on top, a 62-59 win, and it was a good one. It's good for the local fans too. I mean, we're in the shadows of BYU and Utah here, and we're 6 miles from BYU, so having that in-state game against a team like Weber State and winning it's big for us.
If you could describe to maybe the Bakersfield fans that might not have seen your team play last year when you were here, what would you describe Utah Valley, what the team is like in the style in which they play?
Just very, it's hard to, Coach Hunsaker's teams, they play hard, they play physical. This one especially is not an athletic group. So I know going to Bakersfield, a very athletic team, it's going to be a challenge for UVU. But it's a team that, runs a lot of sets. Hunsaker, the point guard, he'll get under your skin. The visiting fans won't like him, and that's the way he wants it. He's the coach's son. He'll set a hard pick. He grew up watching John Stockton play, and then Aird, the senior center who was first team all conference, he's just really struggled so far this season, and so the Wolverines do have a good match, a mix of inside out, but with Aird and then Zach Nelson on the inside. Zach's a freshman, but with Hunsaker, he can get hot from three. Enos can get hot from three, and then the guy off the bench named Hayes Garrity, he's a sophomore transfer coming off an LDS mission. And he's second on the team in scoring. He'd been leading the team in scoring for much of the year, but he comes off the bench and he can just put the ball in the bucket. Has great body control. He's only about 6'1", but he can get to the hole. He can shoot the three, and he can handle the ball pretty well.
I know you guys, unfortunately for you have to open conference play on the road. But coming into the league the same time as Bakersfield, how excited is your squad? How excited is your program to be in this situation and open up conference play?
Well, I'm sure, like you said, at the same time as you guys, it's unbelievable here how excited everybody is. The WAC is plastered everywhere on campus. Everybody's talking about it. The faculty and staff and student body. There's a ton more interest. There's more interest in the community, and it's such a good thing without having that WAC brand. No matter what the conference makeup is right now, having that brand behind us and the ability to play in a conference tournament for the postseason, and it's exciting. And having it in a location like Las Vegas, where we can travel, it's fairly central for many of the schools. It's a 6-hour drive from Orem, so the WAC is just something that's on everybody's radar now, and it's just super exciting.
And finally, Coach Hunsaker's been around a while. What are his feelings kind of going into conference play? Have you got a chance to chat with him a little bit?
Yeah, he likes his club. It's definitely a team that is better than last year's club, and he's still just looking for that one guy to kind of take over. His son Holton Hunsaker is he's kind of the guy who will take the shot in the big moment, and I think he'd like someone else to kind of step up and take that role sometimes too. I think he's still looking for an identity, but I think if he feels like if he gets everybody on the same page in a game, that the Wolverines can win any game really. And Hunsaker's a guy who, he comes from the Rick Majerus, the school. He coached under Majerus a couple of times at Ball State and at Utah, and just his attention to detail and his preparedness is really second to none. And so that's one thing, with the conference schedule coming up, he'll be prepared. He'll have his guys ready to go. It just comes down to, does he have the right guys that can do it?
All right, Clint. Well, I appreciate you joining us on the program. Hey, safe travels to Bakersfield. We'll see you on Saturday.
Okay, thanks a lot, Corey.
All right, Clint Burgi joining us on the program, assistant AD for Sports Information at Utah Valley, and our first Behind Enemy Lines segment, as we like to introduce you. I think it's good just for the fans to be able to talk about the other team and hear from them as well. And the good news is these are teams we're going to be playing in the years to come, and so it's going to be a familiarity and things like that. And I like Utah Valley just kind of as a nice. We're the two westernmost schools in the I guess Seattle a little bit, but we're kind of one of the three westernmost schools in the WAC, and so I kind of like the little rivalry going on just to get that going. Teams came into the conference on the same day back in October of 2012, so kind of a fitting beginning that we open in Bakersfield against Utah Valley Saturday night, Rabobank Arena. Do not miss this. History will be made. I'm telling you right now. First Division I conference basketball game in Bakersfield. We've got rally towels for the first 500 fans. Those look pretty cool. We've got a special pregame WAC presentation. It's kind of a ribbon cutting, actually. It's pretty cool. And then Steve Max of the Simon Says Show will join us at halftime. This guy is put on Simon Says, literally. Like, this is what he does for a living. He goes and plays Simon Says at arenas all over the country, including NBA. He's been in Madison Square Garden. Go to YouTube and check out this guy, Steve Max Simon Says, with a Z, because that makes it cooler. And check out what he does, because he's worth the price of admission Saturday alone. Very entertaining. And, of course, Great Western Athletic Conference basketball, because it all counts now. Right now, everybody's playing for that regular season championship, which gives you the 1 seed in the WAC tournament. It also gives you a NIT berth at the very least. So that's out there. And, of course, you want that 1 seed in the WAC tournament, because the person going to the NCAA tournament will be decided in those days in March. So join us on Saturday. Thanks so much for joining us on the special Monday edition of the program. We'll be back on Tuesday next week as back to our normal schedule. Also, you can check us out anytime online at gorunners.com/rundown and get past episodes of the show as well. Hey, have a great, happy, and safe New Year. We'll catch you next week. This has been Roadrunner Rundown.